This episode of the OP Show is sponsored by Customer. Say goodbye to bad service and hello to the future of customer experience. Calvin Lammers, thanks for coming. Appreciate you flying out to Utah. Isn't it great?
Here.
It's just like one day you're in LA, and then you fly, you see the mountains.
Although I did get a little bit of snow last Saturday. We got a little bit of rain and up in the mountains. I was up in the mountains, got some snow. So
do you guys
it's like I'm here.
You guys hike a lot, you and your wife?
I do. Yeah. Basically every weekend we're out there. Wow. Yeah. It's that's one of the benefits of being in LA.
Where do you live in LA again?
I'm in West Adams, which is like right next to Culver City, which is where our office HQ is in. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What other brands are in Culver City? I feel like I've had someone else.
There's a lot of beauty brands. I mean, there's like the major ones like Meta, Apple, they have offices there, but a lot of beauty brands like Smashbox, and I'm blanking on the other one. Frame, which is like an apparel brand, is in the same office building as us. So,
nice.
So yeah, it's become like an apparel beauty hub for a lot of more like mid-sized brands.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's jump into that. So what kind of like led you into e-commerce and the digital growth side of things?
Originally, so cut my teeth at Target headquarters. So went to school in Minnesota.
That's right.
And that's like
Target.
Depending
on where you're from.
That was the original like path that you did after you go to Minnesota. You were a gopher. You go to Target headquarters. Back then, you had the original like retail brick and mortar office that was very separate from the .com office. Like that was back when they were based on the Amazon like platform. And I was focused on brick and mortar, originally wanted to get out of the Midwest, try something else. And then I was looking to move to New York City and
the Big Apple,
and was looking for jobs out there and came across this company called Quidsy, which was the parent company of diapers.com.
Oh, wow.
And Mark Laurie, like previously of the Walmart.com CEO. And I was like, all right, well, this is like a tangential, like relative to my Target experience. And like, all right, I was interested in that and thankfully landed a role over there and couldn't have asked for a better first experience in the .com space. So like, met, with kind of the best of the best in the .com space. So you had Mark, you had a number of people that went on to found their own .com e-commerce companies. And it was a true startup in the sense that very scrappy, long hours, lot of time put into building a...
What year was this?
This was 2011.
Okay, cool.
So this was right after Quidsy had been acquired by Amazon.com. So still before Amazon had really enveloped them into their behemoth as they are. So we very much had the resources of Amazon, but still had that startup mentality. So it was the best time to
How long were you there for?
So I was there a little over 2 years.
Okay. And what was like your main responsibility? Being directly out of school, like how much responsibility did they give you?
So I owned categories. So first one was Casa.com. So it was a home goods category. So I was responsible for choosing the vendors, choosing the site navigation, choosing pricing, basically the whole gamut. So like you really were a business owner in that sense. For a massive like vertical for a company. So that had the buying power of an Amazon back.
And what did you study in school to launch?
Sport management.
Okay, sport management.
Completely different. Okay. So
why sport management and then the pivot into, the e-com side?
Zero relation to the two. It was more big sports guy growing up, thought that I wanted to work in sport. I interned for, I know we were talking about this, interned for the Minnesota Timberwolves for 3 years for the Minnesota Twins. So like
that's
had
awesome.
a ton of sports experience. And then when I got to close to graduating, had a job offer for the Kansas City Royals to do ticket sales. And this was back when they were not World Series champions. So did not enjoy the idea of moving to Kansas City and becoming ticket sales.
What's the pitcher's name? Jeremy Guthrie?
Jeremy Guthrie, it was early on with Greinke was there,
But you know Jeremy Guthrie?
Yes.
Pitcher K.
Yeah.
I think, was he part of the World Series team that year that they won it?
I believe
Was that like
so.
2015?
Yeah, I believe so. So I think he was on the team at that point. So it was like right when they had the early crew, but they had not quite developed to the point where it was a great team.
The only reason I know that guy is I dated his niece, and I would go to their house, and they had all this like Jeremy Guthrie
That's
stuff,
amazing.
and I was like, "Who is this guy?"
He's got some skill.
Yeah, he's got some skill. He's been in the league for he was in the league for a while.
Yeah, 100%. So
well, that's crazy.
So yeah, I had the job offer and did not want to move to Kansas City. Did not want to work for a team that was bottom of the barrel at the time. So was looking around, and Target headquarters kind of came up and was a better option at that point to stay in Minneapolis too. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you land this gig. You're there for 2 years. What did you learn there that helped you kind of launch in the next gig?
Yeah. I think it really was more that, especially at that stage, like e-commerce and even like the company was evolving so quickly. So it's like you always had to be checking with what other competitors were doing, what consumers were, how they were actually interacting with your site. So it was like that balance of how you were staying at the cutting edge of both consumer experience as well as how you were getting a competitive edge to stay ahead of your competitors. So I think that's obviously very prevalent in the digital space now, but I think it was that mindset where you're always constantly learning and needing to evolve and develop your approach, your skill set. And I think that was from the brick and mortar, even like that small stint at Target headquarters, there's that ability to kind of rest on your laurels and like rely on like this establishment and entrenchment that you have for quite some time, but digital is very different in that sense.
Yeah, so brick and mortar to digital, what's the biggest difference or hurdle that you had to overcome?
I think the biggest one was the consumer voice. Like really at the end of the day, it's like how much power the consumer has in terms of like reviews, overall impact, and how much you have to listen and really kind of let the consumer steer how you're changing your strategy.
Is Nécessaire sold in Targets today?
We are not. So we're DTC, Amazon, Sephora are our primarily retailers, and then Nordstrom.
So there is some retail footprint there.
There is, correct.
So how do you so if I walk into Target, if I'm buying like a comparable product, what is my experience as a consumer? Do you feel like most consumers, when they shop in Target, are also looking at like reviews from
100%.
your D2C website, 100%. Amazon? Are they checking like multiple different references, or are they just like, hey, Amazon reviews look good, cool, this one is what I'm going to buy? Like how much thought goes into buying in store versus online?
Generally, that's what I've seen is that Amazon is the go-to for reviews. Yeah. Like that's a go-to resource for reviews. Like you might have some consumers that go to the DTC site as well. Yeah. But generally, Amazon is the primary resource.
Do you prioritize Amazon then for that reason in terms of reviews versus your own D2C?
I would say in terms of reviews, yes. Like knowing that is the gold standard for what consumers use as like
social proof.
The social proof like resource. Yeah, 100%. Even with our other retail partners, they even quote or state that they know that consumers use Amazon as their review reference for sure.
Is it tough to, just because you have so much experience in kind of both the digital and you obviously your emphasis is more on that at Nécessaire, but then you've got background in the retail side. Is price matching a struggle for you guys? Do you do kind of different pricing depending on the channel? How do you guys kind of manage that?
Yeah,
Nécessaire?
It's a great question. Like we're prestige premium, a premium brand, and we are not promotional or heavily promotional, but Amazon does throw a wrench into like our pricing standard in many sense because we do have retail partners that run promotions, and Amazon does often price match them or suppress our listing if we don't price match them. I think we're very much taking the stance that we are not universally pricing or bringing down price on Amazon to match these retailers. So it's more like how are we coordinating our promotional moments across our retailers.
And you're managing all that as SVP. Okay.
Correct.
So tell me what else you do as SVP of digital.
It's our omni-channel support. So running all of our paid media to support our full brand and retail partners, including Sephora, our DTC business P&L, as well as our Amazon P&L. So it's a lot. It's a lot. And so at the same time, like that perspective does give me purview into the full presence and how we show up across all these retail touch points. So I think that's the tricky thing to coordinate when you have a partner like a Nordstrom going on sale and Amazon is price matching. What do you do to counteract that, or how do you adjust your Amazon strategy to counteract that? So I think it's a new factor that we're trying to account for, because it's also a factor of like we've reached a scale on Amazon, and just as a brand that Amazon is also price matching us and crawling us a lot more specifically than they were previously when we were a more nascent brand on the platform. So it's a newer challenge that we're facing.
What's kind of like your tool belt as SVP of digital? Like what's like, hey, I rely on these tools, these metrics to kind of determine how successful we are in this particular.
Yeah, I mean, I think I am very much a firm believer that not getting too caught up in the weeds and having your key like high level metrics for business health is a key way to not steer you in the wrong direction. So like just in terms of like overall marketing and advertising, like I'm a big believer in marketing efficiency ratio and seeing like how much are you actually spending versus your top line growth. And as long as you're maintaining that kind of health within your advertising investment, that means that you're advertising in the most effective and efficient way. So like I think keeping that as like a pure top line metric is key. Obviously CAC, ROAS, are important for DTC, Amazon health, as well as new to brand or new versus existing customers, and making sure that you're continuing to build a new customer or build the funnel within your Amazon DTC business. I think as you get into omni-channel retail, you lose some of that sight line. So it's like using DTC, Amazon, and those leading indicators, and then brand searches. I would say the other piece where that's also a leading indicator, like that you're doing an effective job in like driving brand awareness and influence. And tracking that across Google and Amazon for that.
So in your guys' space, I know it's kind of a crowded space, just like every space now, right? It's like, how do you guys stand out? What's kind of like the key differentiator where, okay, I've got a really loyal customer base and this is why they use us. What is that?
I think there's two things.
What's the secret formula?
And that's right. I can't tell you the full secrets.
That's right.
But our product quality, I think, is number one. Like, there's
my wife loves your guys' products, by the way.
And that means a lot. And that's I think that is, to me, is always great to hear, because firsthand you hear a lot of people when I talk to them that they love our products, like they've seen changes, benefits, like the effectiveness, and that is actually key. Like word of mouth in the beauty space actually is still probably the most powerful tool. Because everybody can market, say, and make a ton of claims, but actually having that first-hand word of mouth.
So is word of mouth from a digital sense, can you tell us a little bit more? Like, is it, hey, we just shipped some product out to an influencer, it's not a paid thing with this influencer, but they've been using it for 3 months and they're giving like some type of testimonial, like organically, like how much of it is paid versus organic? Where is like your dollars being spent there?
I would say it's a more even split now. Like for the first few years of the brand, we were heavily focused and spending heavily on paid influencer and using that because it's still very prevalent in the beauty space. And we still are. But I think we've much more balanced our budget and dollars across paid influencer as well as like community and seeding and letting like the community like voice their own experience with the product. And I think generally that's also a shift that's happened with the consumer audience, where that actually has a more powerful impact with like an organic testimonial as opposed to a paid post. So I think that's how we've kind of right-sized it.
And one of the biggest things I hate about paid posts is like the language that individual, it's like, I am obsessed. Like if I hear obsessed again, I was like, just choose a different word. I can 100%. Catch on to it because you say you're obsessed with this product and everyone says it.
And most consumers can pick up on that. Like they can
I'm absolutely obsessed with this. It's like, okay. All right,
they immediately like tune it out and know that it's a paid post. So I think that's where there's still a place for that, but like it's right sizing how it's balanced with the other community efforts for sure.
Okay, great. So the community side, like how do you build a community? We had Katie on here, who you know from Glossier, and they're like all about community. How 100%. Do you get that type of community? Because I'm also like, listen, we sell shipping protection.
Right.
Really tough to get a community around. You know, someone excited about, protecting my order from certain things. So I'm trying to build this community of brands that we're helping, and the experiences that they're having with us and the experiences that their customers are having with them as a brand when things go wrong. And I'm like, how do you get that kind of like spark?
And I don't think we
perfected digitally it. I'm like, I have
for
no
sure.
clue.
Yeah, and I don't think we perfected it by any means. And I think there are plenty of others in the space that have done even better job than we have. But I do think it's allowing. I think step one is allowing that communication line, and just having a two-way street between the community and the brand. And often you have brands that are very much one-way communication. Yes. So I think that's step one is just creating that.
It's just the brand blasting the customer by our product.
Yes, 100%. So I think that's step one.
Okay.
And then I think it does take a lot of resources and people to actually put behind it, because actually responding to and managing community, it's very time intensive, and you have a lot of brands that are maybe using AI tools, which I think there's a role for that. That's not the role that we want to, or the approach that we want to take. But it is about like making sure you have a team resourced and kind of capable of managing and responding to and engaging with the community, real time, I guess, for lack of a better term. So it's like setting up those communication channels and forums. I think that's part two. And then along with that, it's making sure that they're feeling included as part of the brand evolution and strategy. So whether that's new products, whether that's exclusive, whether that's events.
How often are you guys launching new products?
Right now, we're
probably... Are you investing a lot in R&D right now?
We are. I think we're actually trying to pull back on the new product launch and really focus on like our core
key sellers.
We still have new product launches and key ones throughout the year. So on a given stage, we're probably 2 to 3 key product launches per year now. Yeah. Previously, we were about 2 per quarter. So we've definitely dialed back to really focus on making those launches bigger, and then also focusing on our key evergreen core products.
So when you get with your manufacturer and you're like, hey, we're going to produce this new product line, you're probably the one that's like, okay, hey, we need to forecast how many units do you think we can sell of this new product?
Right.
From a digital standpoint, how difficult is it to forecast?
It's difficult.
Sales volume.
It's difficult.
Of a new product line.
100%. It's difficult. I think we had more recent example, our rosemary shampoo and conditioner, which we launched about a year ago, completely blew the doors off of our forecast. And
good.
It really,
but then it's a bad problem.
It's a
you're
bad
like, hey,
problem.
I just stocked out.
Exactly. And
I could be selling a lot more of this product.
And then we had a back in stock moment that absolutely did phenomenal last summer. So it's like, it's a good problem, but still a problem. So I think that's where we're trying to get to a better stage where we're a little bit heavier on inventory to allow us to oversell. But it's a constant challenge, especially for a growing emerging brand like ours. We aren't heavy on TikTok, but you have plenty of brands on TikTok, like case in point, that go viral and sell out immediately, and then they're out of stock for three months. So it's a challenge.
So this is kind of a more granular question, I guess, just going back to that. So when you guys have so much demand for a product and you sell out, what's kind of the gap in time between that restock alert to the end consumer?
It depends on the product. I would say generally it's 1 to 2 months. Sometimes longer depending on the product, but generally 1 to 2 months.
And do you feel like that's an ample amount of time for the customer to be like, okay, I kind of forgot about this, but I loved it. And so it's almost like, oh wow, this is nice? Or would it be better if you could get it out to that customer in like 2 weeks from their first purchase?
I think for us, it's okay. And it still works because just like the usage time, especially for like you have, especially shampoo, conditioner, or a body lotion.
How long does it last usually?
Generally, it's 45 to 60 days. So it's like right in that window of 1 to 2 months anyways.
So that's like almost perfect timing.
The only one that I would say is a little bit more challenging is we do have a deodorant line, and that's obviously a little bit more frequent or
Mercedes uses a bunch of deodorant. She was just talking about that at lunch.
Hey, it's a good product.
It's
so
great.
That's good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's fantastic. No, these are if I could like nail down Necessaire's brand, it kind of reminds me of like the Tom Ford of shampoo and conditioner.
Which that
is that what you guys are going for?
I think
because I was like, yo, this is
reference point.
This looks good.
I think
like I could even just put it on the shelf, like in my living room, and it would fit the aesthetic.
Our founder, she worked with Tom Ford when she was at Estee Lauder, so that was an influence. And then also she very much like describes and created our packaging as furniture for the bathroom, as she calls it. So it's very much, there's an aesthetic component to it, for sure.
So how involved is the founder still?
Very heavily involved.
Cool.
So she very heavily involved with the product. Like that is her forte. I mean, and that goes back to the quality. Like I very much believe and strongly believe that we have the best, most efficacious product in the industry, because that is where her strength and focus is.
If you weren't working with Nécessaire, working at Nécessaire, what would you be doing? Like, what's the dream?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean,
big sports guy.
Big sports guy. So, I mean, there is the thought of like going into the digital space, commercial space for, whether it be a league or a team. I think in general, I like leading digital strategy and community efforts for whether it be a brand or whatever entity it is. So I think there's definitely been that thought of sports being a way of getting back into it. My other key focus was entertainment. So like I was a big film stutter.
You got a great
studies,
look too.
Thank you.
Very handsome.
And now I'm in Hollywood, LA itself.
Yeah.
So like I've got a natural entry. So it's like something along those lines. So
have you done anything like this before? You've been on podcasts and stuff?
Been on podcasts. I'm trying to think.
You've been in any shows or anything? I feel like I've seen you recently.
I'm trying to think.
Who's your celebrity lookalike? Let me ask you that.
I've heard Matt Damon the most often.
Is
what I've heard.
Better looking.
Thank you.
Young Matt. Young Matt. Yeah.
And then, when I haven't been the most healthy, John Daly has been the other lookalike, which has never made me feel good. The golfer.
Wow. Yeah. That's
whenever I hear that, it's like
not even close.
Not it. So I'll go with Matt Damon.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, that concludes the first segment.
Amazing.
Out of the box. We're going to go on to segment number 2. Big yawns from the audience.
Riveting stuff.
Truth or trend? Ooh. Oh, new one. Nate, have you seen this one? No, new. Mercedes, you seen this? No, not even paying attention.
I need to hear about the deodorant usage, Mercedes, later. Yeah.
Okay, in this game, I'll throw out a term, idea, or industry trend, and players will discuss. Is it a truth, something with real staying power, worth the hype, or is it a trend, just noise that'll fade out soon? I like that.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. Okay, let's jump into it. Instagram threads.
Oof. I'll go first. Yeah, I think it's a trend. Like I have yet to meet somebody that actually holds or thinks Instagram threads carries any weight.
Yeah. It's still Twitter.
It's still Twitter. And also like the biggest like issue I feel is that there's no real like cross like pollination with Instagram threads. Like anything that happens on Instagram threads stays on Instagram threads. I've yet to see a article about an Instagram thread trend or post or anything like that. Yeah. Like it is very like siloed. Isolated or siloed.
Yeah, I'm gonna go trend. What was the other option? Truth or trend? Yeah. Trend for sure. Okay, number 2, AI and marketing. Ooh,
truth. I mean, there's no, you aren't getting away. Yeah, it's 100% the truth, both in terms of like creative direction, design. Like my wife's a designer. Like the amount that she's using AI in terms of design work, like it's a cost saving, it's a time saving function, and then for like brand marketers, it's just so fast. It's also resource saving, because the amount of time that you would need to spend ideating on campaign ideas, copy ideas, direction, like there's no chance we're going
I will say at this point, I think the way that, because I use it every day, I think anyone in tech uses it every single day.
For sure.
Should be.
Yep.
Regardless of your function. But it's a good, because a lot of that first process of ideation is you're spinning your wheels, and a lot of
Right.
times that can get the creative juices kind of flowing. But
Totally.
AI is like, okay, I'll punch in a prompt, and I get something immediately that kind of almost allows me to expedite that process.
Sure.
To already then start thinking and doing, right?
Yep.
It skips a couple of those steps.
Agreed.
To where you can act much faster.
Agreed.
And I think it's 100% a truth. Number 3, clean beauty. Truth. It's gotta be.
I think it's
Okay.
a truth.
Yeah.
It's truth.
You got a good take here.
But I think it's evolving because I think there's the
What is clean beauty?
what the definition is constantly evolving, and also like the consumer expectation is also evolving because I think there's very much like I was just reading about this, that there's even a backlash to being B Corp certified, and like that used to be the gold standard for like clean, natural.
I don't even know what that is.
It's around like carbon footprint and just overall climate neutral. Your supply like kind of reaches like across all touch points of a brand, and now it's very much a backlash against it because it's the evolution or extension of the idea of greenwashing. So I think it's tough for like enterprise brands to stay aligned with the consumer expectation. I think we're in a great spot from that perspective because we very much like our brand ethos is very much responsibility for the planet, responsibility for yourself. So that's always been part of our ethos, and we can be a little bit more nimble and evolve for the consumer expectation. But I think long-winded way of saying that I think clean beauty is the truth, but it's just the definition and evolution of what the consumer's expectation for what that means and the definition is changing.
So let me ask you this too, just before we go on to the next one. How much of like skincare routines and things like that, as much as, like Nécessaire's products kind of affect this?
Yeah.
Is it almost like skin is now becoming reliant the more that we use that? It's kind of like, I think about like chapstick.
Sure.
Right? Like someone that applies Carmex every single day, multiple times a day. Would it be better if you just didn't to a degree or applied less? Right? Is there like a balance there that, we've now gotten into this trend where it's like you've got to have this like ornate skincare routine to have the best skin.
Sure.
Whereas me over here, I have a beard and I use the same bar of soap to wash my face and body. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I don't have any blemishes.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the trade-off? What's the balance, right? Obviously, men very different than women in a lot of ways. Like
and
that, right? And different skin complexities.
There, for sure.
Tons of caveats.
Yeah.
But where's like the middle ground?
I think that's where we very much, like as a brand, Nécessaire, believe less is more. So it's like, I don't think I think our stance is you don't need an ornate,
but just the right
and the highest quality products.
Like that. Yeah.
So I really do believe that even myself, like as I'm newer to the beauty category, like my evolution and skin routine has evolved, but I'm certainly not, it's not an 8-step process. I went from a 1 to now a 3-step skincare routine. So.
Still easy.
Yes,
still easy.
Exactly.
Okay, number 4, TikTok shop. Ooh. Hot topic. Love that store, by the way. Just kidding. Haven't been a Hot Topic in some time.
It's also changed from what I remember as a kid, but that's another topic for another day. TikTok shop. I think it's an interesting platform. I think we have not had the best experience with it.
Yeah.
Candidly, and I think I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of brands that have had the same experience.
Kind of messy.
I think the consumer profile that you're attracting on TikTok shop isn't the most attractive. It's not the highest value customer that you're
talking about customer acquisition cost.
Acquisition, and also just the long-term lifetime value of that customer. We've seen that we're active, we're available. We launched we were actually an early partner. We launched September 2023 on TikTok shop. So we've been on there for quite some time, and we have never pushed it aggressively because there's been always this sense that it's a discount value-seeking customer on the channel that is not our target consumer. So we're trying to balance. There's a need for awareness, for again the community aspect. Like we have an affiliate community, so we want to be available for them, but it is not something that we are pushing and discounting heavily in order to attract a customer on the channel, just because we haven't seen the quality of customer that.
Is there something that you guys, have you ever considered just like, is there a specific product that you could create that fits that channel that's like a small, it's cheap, and then I get them hooked, and then they go to the D2C or
for
Amazon.
sure.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how we viewed it. So our newer deodorant line, our lip balm, which we just launched earlier this year, so more lower ASP, lower price point items, like that's where you use it as an acquisition platform, and then get them into the brand, and then move them over to your other channels for.
I'm like, hey, have you ever tried this brilliant idea? It's like, oh yeah, we've done this. It's not a crazy idea.
No, but I think it's not always how brands think about it, and I think the brands that are doing it well are very much viewing it as an acquisition platform.
For sure.
In that sense, for sure. Yeah.
Number 5. So, truth then? Truth on that? Trend.
I think
there's some truth to it.
I think that one's probably the most balanced, because we still don't know what's going to happen with TikTok.
Yeah.
If Amazon buys it, I doubt TikTok Shop stays the same. I think Amazon very much incorporates it into the Amazon ecosystem. So
for sure,
we'll see.
Yeah. Hyper curated unboxing experiences. Wow, these are good. Meg, these are really solid. Yeah.
I think truth, in the sense it still plays a very valuable role for macro influencers, as well as surprise and delights for community. So I think it still has a role in like the PR gifting experience. I don't know if I necessarily see it for DTC experience for like the general consumer, but like for influencer community, I see it plays a role, because that's where you get the best content, honestly, from, is when you have those experiences that you're getting out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to say, I know, I love watching them. I'm going to say it's the truth for me. Celebrity founded skincare lines. Ooh.
I think truth, in the sense that they have the best. Hailey Bieber, like you have Outset with Scarlett Johansson, like you have a number of examples. They have the best starting point of any brand for success. So I think truth, in the sense that this will not fade or go away. I think ultimately it still goes back to like what their point of difference in the marketplace is. That's the long-term bellwether of whether they're going to succeed.
I will say truth, and I wish it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because I go into the gas station now. My kids love getting like a sweet treat at the gas station. Shaquille O'Neal has gummies. He has like a gummy brand where he's selling candy like Haribo.
Yep.
And like, so I was like, dude, what is going on?
He's everywhere. Well, my favorite one was The Rock has his skincare line, and also hair care for that matter. He's bald. Like, how is anybody taking The Rock's hair care advice?
It's so wild. It's so wild. And then he's got his energy drink brand, Zoa. I'm just like, it's all over.
Yeah.
It's just got to be the right person, I guess, right?
Totally.
So truth. 7, pickleball. Trend. Ooh. Big trend.
I think so too. Big
trend.
It's definitely still having a good moment. I just never see it reaching a point where there was that point in Brooklyn 13 years ago where shuffleboard was a big thing, and that subsided very quickly. I think pickleball's had a little bit longer like leash or tenure than that, but I think it's very much in that same world of shuffleboard.
I'll make another comparison here. Spike ball.
Yeah.
It feels like spike ball to me.
Yeah, I could see that.
Right, like some like hippie people out in the park, barefoot playing spike ball. This one is just, it's a perfect game for geriatrics. Totally. You're 60 plus, you've had a couple ACL tears, surgeries. I can just play this leisurely game. I ultimately hate it because I grew up playing team sports. And I grew up somewhat athletic. Mm-hmm. And if I go on a pickleball court, I can get smoked by a 65-year-old that can barely move. Yeah. Because it's technique, it's placement, it's all these things, right? And I just don't like it for that reason. Yep. So it's a big trend for me.
I can agree with that wholeheartedly.
Number 8, shopping halls as entertainment.
I think as long as TikTok Shop, YouTube Shorts,
good segment,
is prevalent, it's a truth, like for sure. And I mean, especially like we see that like with a Sephora beauty savings event, like shopping hauls are always going to be
I love seeing them.
Inundating your feed. So,
and you guys probably love it from the brand side.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like it's good exposure. Like the brands we're usually included with, like naturally fit us. So I see no reason to think that will stop anytime soon. So
what's something that pairs well with Nécessaire? Like a fine wine and cheese. What goes well?
Yeah, we very much fragrance is definitely one that we look at pairing with because we don't have any fragrance, mist, perfume, or otherwise. So we definitely see like Dias and Durga as like a good fit with us. And then makeups, we don't have any facial care outside of our lip balm. So Merit Beauty is a brand that we partnered with in the past and see as very much a like-minded and partner brand in that sense.
So you guys grow. Let's just say you grow to be massive. Who are you buying?
Ooh.
The lemonade.
Man, that's a good question.
This kind of goes obviously along with the pairing, right? Like what?
I would say it's more facial care because we at this point we have full body, we have hair care. We're not in the facial care space and haven't really ventured into that to date. So yes, somebody facial care would be
facial care. Yeah, I like that.
Who that is, open question, but
hit the DMs.
exactly.
Okay, number 9, Roman Empire obsession.
Man, this is a tough one.
Are we still talking about this? Are we still talking
I was
about
like, that I haven't heard this actually.
So it might be a trend because it's already
maybe
done,
it's a trend.
We can play it out in real time.
I mean, probably then for that reason, probably a trend because I haven't heard anybody say that's my Roman Empire in probably a year, at least in my story.
I will say the new trend right now is 100 men versus a gorilla. Who would win? I love that.
Which I do too.
I love that trend. We had this conversation. I was a missionary in Ghana when I was 18. Ronda Rousey was a big like UFC fighter at the time. And we're like, all these young guys out there from Africa and US and all over the place. And we're like, okay, if you're in the cage with Ronda Rousey, you have no fighting experience. Is she whooping your ass? And they're like, 100%. She's whooping your ass. Like she gets you in an armbar, you're tapped out. And we have some guys like, no
really
way, dude. Yeah, you get me in there. Like it's similar conversation, right? I mean, not similar. Like a gorilla is scary. That's a scary animal.
Totally. I tap out immediately.
Yeah. So I'm dead for sure. So that's a fun trend. QR codes on everything. This has gone overboard.
I think it's a trend on everything. Definitely a trend, but I think it still very much plays a role.
Yeah.
And I think
where do you love to see a QR code?
I would say more on their brands for like ingredient sourcing or like background.
I like that.
Like
informational.
Love that. Informational. Yeah. Love that. I would say also on. Well, I think it toes the balance for like restaurants, bars. QR codes, the menu, just in general. Like
I hate that.
It's like
COVID. I get it.
I hate waiting for a menu, so I like that in some sense. But then if I'm at a restaurant, I don't want to have to be on my phone to look at the menu. So I think there's
like the
right time and place.
Yeah, the restaurants are not setting up the most ideal digital experience. We're coming back to that.
Yeah.
Right, because I'm going through. I was like, this is terrible. Yeah. This is a bad experience. Just give me a menu.
100%.
Unless you're like. The Cheesecake Factory, and you got a menu that's 500 pages.
Right. Then
long.
maybe
it's like maybe just like send me a
100%
a PDF or something.
So that's right. I think certain scenarios it still makes sense, and I like it. But
when I'm signed into like Disney Plus, I like to just pull out my phone and then you scan it on the screen.
That's another great example.
Yeah.
Yep. Makes it easy.
As opposed to using the remote, punching 100%. In.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like that. Okay, segment number 3, marketing trivia.
All right.
Okay, let's rip.
On the hot seat.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to go over the instructions here. Players will be presented with 8 marketing, branding, or ad questions. 1 point for whoever answers the fastest.
Oh, man. Okay.
Slay. You better slay this one.
All right.
Number 1, what year did Instagram launch? Ooh.
2007?
I was going to guess 2005. 2010.
Much later
Okay,
than
you
I.
won. You were closest, yeah. Wow,
All right,
2010,
I'll take
that's
it.
crazy.
That's much later than expected.
Which fast food chain created the Where's
Arby's.
the Beef campaign? Did you say Arby's?
Arby's.
Midwest guy. Let's see. It's got to be Arby's.
I think so.
Sells like
Wendy's. Oh, man.
Wendy's. Wow.
Man, I'm striking out so far.
Okay, 1 point for you, 0 for me. Number 3. What was the first product ever sold on Amazon Books?
It's books, but are we going specific?
I
Like
think we're going
specific book?
Do you know? Yeah. It's got to be like a Shel Silverstein book or something. A book. Okay, yeah.
Do we both get one?
Yeah, we both get 1 point.
All right, fair.
2-1. Okay, which luxury brand partnered with Crocs for a high fashion?
I should know this.
Ooh, luxury.
Gucci.
That's a good guess. Let it rip. What is it?
Balenciaga.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. Number 5, which sports brand created the Dream Crazy campaign featuring Colin Kaepernick?
Ooh.
It's got to be Nike.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Nike. So, Colin Kaepernick, University of Nevada, Reno.
Really? I didn't know that.
I lived in Reno at the time.
Okay.
So I
you
went
go
to a
see him?
couple
Yeah.
Wolfpack games, yeah. Hell of an arm. Number 6, what delivery app once launched an entire clothing line based on people's late night food orders? That's wild.
I actually.
Which delivery app? Uber Eats?
I say DoorDash would be my
DoorDash,
guess.
okay.
Yeah.
Uber Eats.
There you go. Good call.
Is it tied or am I up one?
I think you're up one.
3-2. Let's go.
Tanner's got the lead.
Let's go. Number 7. You want to read this one? Skincare?
That's got to be Nécessaire.
What
Come
skincare
on.
brand is known for minimalistic packaging and the tagline, the body care brand? Is it Nécessaire?
I mean, we are. We are.
There it is. You
So I
gotta
didn't
get
read
that
the
one.
question because it was like I immediately went to the answer.
Yeah. The body care brand. I like that.
We are. That we are.
Number 8. What brand made a fake AI dating simulator for Valentine's Day?
Ooh. I actually have no
AI
idea.
dating simulator? I thought you were looking off because you heard that noise.
Yeah,
You're like-
well, that too.
But you're pondering. You're
I'm
thinking.
pondering.
Yeah.
I have no idea, honestly. Water brand?
It's a water brand. Smart water. Fiji, maybe?
I don't think Fiji would do that.
No, they already have solidified themselves
Yeah.
as the goat of water.
I feel
It's not Arrowhead.
They
Dasani?
certainly are not. Liquid Death?
Liquid
That's-
Death.
it's so funny because I don't think of them as a water brand anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Because they branch out so much.
So
but yeah,
much. I love
that
Liquid
does
Death.
make
Okay,
sense.
3-3.
Yeah. There we go.
That's it. Tie.
Well, a gentleman's tie.
yeah, that's right. Calvin, thank you so much
Thank you,
for
Tanner.
coming on the show.
This is amazing.
We had a good time.
This is awesome. Yeah, had a great time.
I'm just
Thank you
speaking
having
for you. I'm like, you had a good time.
me. That I did, as you said.
Okay, Calvin, you got 3 cameras on you. What's your message to the world?
Nécessaire, we're not only a body care brand, we're a body and hair care brand. Check us out at Nécessaire.com. And don't shop on TikTok Shop.
Buy direct.
Buy direct.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.